Welcome back, everyone. An entire country plunged into darkness. The people of Iran have had their landlines and internet shut off after anti-regime protests grew throughout the country. What started as economic turmoil is now a call for their leader to fall. Chants now echo in virtually every street, and though information is hard to get out, our team has the latest on what's happening inside the country of 92 million people. Tom Soufi-Burridge has this in-depth report about the state of the protests right now and what could be coming next.
Amid complete darkness, a wave of lights. Protesters turning on their flashlights, making sure the world sees just how many people are showing up, night after night. This is the most serious challenge facing Iran's rulers in decades. Huge crowds flooding the streets, blocking highways, chanting for change.
It's actually all parts of Iranian society that are saying down with the regime. They're saying marg bar dictator. This isn't just about the economy. This is about people not wanting this regime in power.
Mass defiance from Iranians yearning for an end to their country's authoritarian regime, even if it means putting their own lives on the line. A toxic mix of soaring inflation and Iran's currency plummeting in value, driving the anger towards those in power.
It did start because of just an economic trigger, and it was with shop owners in the bazaar closing down their shops and essentially saying, like, we can't sell our goods day to day. It's now become a massive nationwide, in all 31 provinces, protest.
From the capital, Tehran, to Mashhad, Iran's second biggest city, and other metropoles like Kerman and Shiraz in the south. The protests spreading fast through this vast country of 90 million people, where there have been uprisings before. Today's regime, led by Muslim clerics, was born after the 1979 Islamic Revolution. And 3 years ago, Iran's Women Life Freedom movement challenging the regime over women's rights. Some see similar tactics from the authorities cracking down today.
There are also reports that people are being intentionally blinded with projectiles being shot at close range at protesters' eyes.
In 2023, ABC News spoke with a protester who faced these tactics during the Women Life Freedom movement.
اسلحه پینتبال دستش بود. در کمتر از 1 ثانیه سر اسلحه رو آورد بالا و به صورت من شلیک کرد که باعث شد چشم چپم رو برای همیشه از دست بدم.
In today's protests, the regime's violence continues in the dark. The authorities cutting all communications since late last week. Once the phone and internet blackout began, the crackdown from Iran's security services quickly followed.
It was very dangerous. In the air, you can feel that something is going to happen.
How are you doing? Nice to meet you. Thanks for having us over.
Kevan Givaiti returned to his home in Paris this morning from Tehran. He was there visiting family during the first 2 weeks of the protests. Kevan, who is French and Iranian, didn't join the protests because of how risky that is. But from his apartment in Tehran, he could hear bursts of gunfire, and he says it had to be the security services shooting.
From my perspective, it was not just guns, pistols. It was like gunshots, maybe rifles, maybe bigger guns.
Kevan says that climate of fear meant in recent days, fewer people have gone out to protest.
I can tell you that a lot of people were out the first days and then not the next days because too much risk.
It's just too much risk to go out on the streets, and the security services were cracking down.
Exactly.
By day, the cost paid by some protesters and their now grieving families all too clear. Chilling images of dozens of bodies laid on the ground outside a medical centre. Cries of anguish also ringing out in the morgue nearby.
Iran International, which is a diaspora media station, has said that the figure is 2,000, but that's a conservative estimate. Doctors are talking about being overwhelmed, about not having enough surgeons to meet the need. There's been some clips that have been played in international media, basically relaying the messages of these doctors.
I've never seen anything like this, at least from the part of the world that I come from and the stories that I hear. And it hits really deep for us.
Dr. Kaivan Mahadi left Iran when he was 12 years old. He's now in touch with doctors on the ground, many who say they are treating patients in secret. protesters are avoiding treatment, scared of being found by the regime.
They are present in the hospitals in Iran and telling them, no, you cannot open the OR to fix this person's eye. You cannot open the... And they're gathering all the electronic medical records with their numbers, just so even if they're treated, they can go later and get them.
More than 10,000 people detained, according to human rights activists, by a regime accused of extracting false confessions and executing people without trial. 26-year-old Irfan Soltani, arrested during protests on January 8th, is facing execution as early as tomorrow, rights groups say. He was denied access to a lawyer. The internet and phone blackout helping to cover up alleged human rights abuses and also cutting off Iranians from the outside world.
People cannot reach people in Iran. The way that people are communicating with people in Iran is because some people have Starlink enabled.
Starlink terminals in Iran mean some video does get out. But experts say the US could widen the access to Starlink for many more Iranians via their cell phones.
Right now, this feature is turned off for Iran. It just needs to be turned on. And so the satellites are overhead, the phones are ready. It would take about 2 weeks to make that operational. I would like to see SpaceX, the US government, or another satellite company flip the switch for Iran.
Even in the darkness, the crowds continue to gather. But many Iranians are now waiting for President Trump's next move.